I lost everything I had on my business. All of my money was gone in a flash on Christmas Day 2024. My name is Andrew, and today I'll show you the exact business I made, how well I actually did, what went wrong, and how I eventually failed my first run at this, and how I had to bounce back from just losing everything that fateful morning on Christmas so that you can learn the one important thing I could have done to save my business. What exactly did I do? I sell physical products on Amazon, and I actually started this in late 2021 while I was working in construction on the field. So I sold wholesale to start off. That's pretty much where I buy a bunch of products for a discount, name brand stuff, kind of like your Mr. Coffee, Bath and Body Works soap, things of that nature. And I packed and shipped these off for a small profit, selling them on Amazon for these companies. And here are some of my screenshots of my sales during that time. And it was going very well. I made a decent profit off of my investment, and I was learning so much critical stuff that would come and play later. This is what really made my foundation and my growth for everything moving forward. This was a great time. But wholesale isn't what I got into this business for, which was to make my own brand. So I took the money I was making doing this and moved to something called private label Amazon, pretty much where you make your own brand. And it does mean, I research the market, find little niche markets that I can improve on with custom products that I make with my own supplier and factories. And this is also better just for long-term growth and profit in general. And I was genuinely more proud of it. So I got started, but didn't know what I was doing. So I did what I thought was smart at the time and invested into a course. I won't tell you the exact name, but it was expensive as hell. I got what I paid for though. So I learned quick and they were amazing to work with. So I started on my first product, which was the subject of this video here today. It was a mini concrete fire pit called Mini Pit. And where this goes next might surprise a bunch of you. I couldn't even imagine anything like this would happen ever. So I went through the whole process of making this an actual brand that looked great, and I was so proud of it. I got with a supplier. I made my custom product. I didn't even know that was possible. I made a custom box and I ordered 300 of them after everything was said and done. So that took a while, but I shipped these off to Amazon, and then once they got there, I went ahead and started my ads. I sold these for about $44.99 a piece, and I bought them and got them made for about 12 each. So my profit margin was around 20 to 30%. And after everything was said and done, of course, and sales, they started coming in, and I felt great about the decision I made, and I knew I was heading in the right direction. But then something happened that was really unexpected. My sales started to dramatically slow, and I had no idea why. Well, it turns out a huge name in the fire pit industry made their own mini fire pit, which was horrible. So after seeing the success in the market, me being a tinier brand, I could not compete with such a big name. So I had to slash prices just to see any kind of normal sales volume. And my brand, as a result, was perceived less quality after that. And I wasn't selling. And even when I was selling, I wasn't turning a profit. Sales were super low and just getting lower. So not even profitable. And my supplier, they couldn't get me them any cheaper. So, I had to make the hard decision and cut this product off as soon as I sold out. So I was just going to take what I learned and continue on to another market with the money I'd made. And I made a crucial mistake here though. Before I left, I did something that I'll bring up later that will just allude to what ended up going horribly wrong at the end. I paused my business insurance. I thought I didn't need it when I wasn't selling, but this will come up very soon in an insane plot twist. The story of the fire pit is far from over, and I wish it ended there, and I thought it would, but over the next 1 year and 8 months, I had found a new product and sold a bunch of them. I made $10,000 in sales in this new product's first month. It was an insane hit, and I was currently working out the kinks and improving such a good product. It was December at this point now, 2024. I'm feeling great. My new product just sold out, and I was able to receive the payments getting ready to order a new batch. I woke up on Christmas Day, I was off of work, and went over to my girlfriend's family's house to celebrate the holiday. And then promptly at 10 a.m., I got 300 total emails all at one time in my business email. They all said the same thing, which about made me spontaneously combust in front of my girlfriend's family. The email said Amazon has refunded every single order I ever had for the fire pits, all coming out of my pocket. I immediately excused myself from the kids unwrapping their presents and got to hop on the phone with seller support, which was not available on Christmas. So at this point, I'm going absolutely haywire, absolutely insane. I have no idea what is going on or what triggered these refunds, or even if there was anything I could do about it. So I unfortunately had to head back home and I had to excuse myself to her family. It was so embarrassing. So I hopped on the phone to just figure out what the fuck was going on. I had to go get on my computer. So I figured out that one of my competitors who had a similar product to mine actually had their product explode on an elderly couple. I'll post a picture of the article right here. And they made a YouTube video about it. The article said that they were destroyed and died from their wounds. Bless their hearts. So, in an effort to remedy the situation, Amazon pulled all the listings, past and present, within the last 2 years, similar to the product, and issued refunds to everyone with an email. And it told all the customers to throw away their product. And this part might not make sense, but it's the cost of doing business with Amazon pretty much. So it does mean when anything of this magnitude happens, I have to issue the refunds from my account. And since I paused my insurance, I couldn't fall back on it as I made that crucial mistake of not resuming my insurance, which ultimately meant I was on my own to cover the refunds completely. With all the math done and trying every single possibility of remedying that situation, I had to pay up. There was nothing I could do. There was literally nothing I could do. So unless I wanted to ruin my winning product that I had going, I had to do this or my account would be permanently suspended. And with everything added up, I lost over $10,000 in one day on that Christmas evening. I lost all the money I had invested into the business and more, even more. The dollars that I made, all gone. So for my winning product, I had to pull some money from my savings just to try to keep it alive, all because I forgot to resume my insurance. And I sold a high risk product, which were both mistakes that I don't want any of you guys to make if you pursue an option like this. So just learn from my business ignorance. But lessons have to be learned, and sometimes it is extremely hard to learn these lessons. So if you run a business, this is just something you have to be okay with. You know, things go wrong in the most unexpected ways. We just can't let these mistakes repeat or make us quit. Just learn and move on. Don't get emotionally tied to the money like I was at that time, and I know it's hard. But it's 2 years later now, and I could really care less about all that in the past because I learned and I took it to my next successful product, and the mistake didn't repeat, which I can't be even happier about. I'm very thankful, all in all, for those learning experiences and just being brave enough to engage in that business in my early 20s. I look back and I'm like, dang, that guy was really in the trenches. You know, it made me who I am today. And I hope you guys don't have to learn the lesson of just having your ass covered like I did. But just make sure if you're going all in on a business like I did, just please cover your ass. You know, don't put all your eggs in one basket and just make sure you have a fund for when shit hits the fan. Because it will, I promise. You don't know everything. There's no way for you to know everything. Just cover your ass. But all in all, this did not sway me from continuing my business, and although it hurt me bad and it was hard to resume, I bounced back, learned, and continued on. The only other option was to lose all that money and just quit. You know, that's not who I am, and I hope that's not who you are either. And I might make a part two to explain, how my winning product is doing, how I'm succeeding in my business now, or even the mentality you have to go through to bounce back from something like that. I think that'll bring you guys some extreme value too. So that could be applied in any business. So let me know if that's something you guys are looking for. So hit the notification bell so you see that video whenever it comes up. And just make sure to subscribe and like if you actually enjoyed this style of video. And have a productive day, y'all. I'm out. Peace.